especially when you get in the Web3, there's like a lot of NFT pressure, and like some of these other projects, I believe, are like, going too heavy into the NFT side, and they have, their cards are very expensive and all of that stuff. And in our view, and we've done this since the beginning of our project, like Magic the Gathering raised the price of their packs to $5 a piece or something like that. And, we're like, okay, they raised the price. We're going to lower them to what the price was, 5-10 years ago. So all of our packs are $3.50. That's 35 cents a card.
You are listening to 100X Gaming, and we are sitting down with Miles from ChampionsTCG. That's trading card game. If you've never played one before, that's Magic, Hearthstone, Lorcana. The one I'm addicted to right now is Star Wars Unlimited. Been super into that. So I like this genre. I'm going to have fun with this conversation, Miles. Can you introduce Champions, what you guys are building, what the heck the game is, why people should be excited? Before we dig into everything this episode has to offer, we want to highlight the awesome partners who sponsor this podcast and make it possible for us to work full-time on 100X. They're legends, and we appreciate them for supporting us. Crypto does not need to be complicated. Kadena is building the human layer of blockchain by giving the power back to the people and allowing them to build products that make a difference for humanity. Founded by ex-JP Morgan and SEC blockchain leads, Kadena develops easy-to-understand, human-readable tools and solutions that focus on the long-term development of the space, not just short-term gains. Simply put, if we want real, regular people to enter and enjoy Web3, Kadena is making a way. To learn more, check out kadena.io, follow them on Twitter at kadena_io, or watch our episode with them. Astrobit is the king of automated trading, and now they've introduced a freemium model. Put those trading fees to use. How does it work? Sign up to an exchange with one of Astrobit's affiliate links and receive at least 30 free credits as a loyalty bonus. Then earn credits on your trading fees. The more you trade, the more credits you can generate. Use those credits towards trading bots and strategies. In other words, you can create a passive income stream at no cost. Find more deets in the description below. Let's talk about Reactor, a proof-of-work blockchain that introduces a brand new economic model, deep-in mining software, a gaming distribution platform, the RKR token, and their game, Minions of Steel, that's proving their thesis by seamlessly integrating proof-of-work token mining with gaming. Through allowing players to mine with their own GPU while playing, not only do they essentially make gaming free, they make software free, and they present an AI-proof income for everyone. If you want to take a glimpse into the future and get there early, explore Reactor's ecosystem at the link below.
Yeah, my name is Miles. I'm one of the founders of ChampionsTCG. We started this project, a little less than a year ago. We just we play all these games. Our team's made up of people that have been playing Magic for 20, 30 years now. We play Hearthstone, and, we've spent tens of thousands of dollars between all of us playing these games. And it just kind of, we got fed up with like, all right, I can't even send these cards to my friends or do anything with them. Like, why not? How are they being called trading card games? And they're just like, leaving that aspect of it out. So yeah, that's kind of how it all started. And yeah, it's been, blowing up. Like, we're, like I keep saying, we're just like a couple dudes in our parents' basements. Not really, but that's the meme on Twitter.
You got an office. I see pizza on your office right behind you.
Yep. No, yeah, I'm downstairs in my restaurant right now. Yeah.
Oh, awesome. Do you have a pizza restaurant?
I've got a pizza one. This is a taco restaurant. Yeah, my wife is Mexican.
Two of my favorite foods. I'm a pizza nerd. What do you? One second rapid fire question before we get into the game. What do you think about Dave Portnoy and One Bite Pizza reviews? Is that good for pizza businesses or bad?
No, it's definitely good. But yeah, just owning a pizza business, now just because of all that, people all think that they're like pizza connoisseurs or pizza reviewers. So
yeah, that's me, dude. You're calling me out.
Yeah, dude. The flop, and like they're all looking at shit, and it's like, hey, we're a mountain pizza shop, man. Like, take it easy.
It's not New York style. Don't expect it to be New Haven pizza. Cool, dude. Yeah. That's fun. Well, I would love to get into the first question I have. Really is just about gameplay. You mentioned that you guys specifically, like your own team, you guys have played all of these different games. I listed a fat bunch of them at the beginning. what makes your guys' game different from some of those other games that people could go play? Like, why would I play? I think we'll get into the trading aspect and the playing aspect because those are two sides of the coin. Gameplay wise, what's going on with the game? Is it designed specifically like with more emphasis on gameplay or art? Is it both at the same time? Are you guys doing specifically like it's more collecting and trading? Or the reason I ask that is like I think a lot of people collect Pokemon, but not a lot of people play it. But a lot of people play Magic, and there's a huge community there that doesn't even care about the collecting or trading. Where do you guys see yourselves fitting in that dynamic of like playing versus trading?
I mean, really, yeah, like we are, our overall thing is we want to be like a proof of concept. We want to showcase the trading aspect of all of these things and the collectability. Because, yeah, like you said, Pokemon, it's literally like a 10,000x collectors versus players.
Yep.
Even Magic, tons of people play Magic. It's where our team originally started. Like we've got people we're working with that have won on the Pro Tour and all of that stuff. But the collector side of Magic is massive as well. So it's like, calling yourself all these digital trading card games, and they're Pokemon's multi-billion dollars, Magic Online, Hearthstone, multi-billion dollars, but we believe like it really hasn't been unlocked. Like if you're, the collectability side of it, we think is like 100x bigger than just like trying to get the players at all. So it's like, it's 2024 right now. Like how is this not happening? There's tools that make it work. But yeah, I mean, it all goes back to the gameplay side as well. So like in physical Magic the Gathering, one of the big game modes is drafting. So, you get 5-6 buddies, you go, everybody brings over their, Magic cards and a case of beers or whatever. And like people love drafting. So the big thing is everybody pitches in on like a box of cards, and then how a draft works. I don't know if you're familiar, but each player starts with like 4 packs of cards. Each, all 4 of us open one at one time. You have 10 cards in front of you. You got to select one, and then you pass the other 9 to your left. And then you just keep doing that for 4 packs. So we're actually the first game that's implemented that exact same thing on the digital side, really cool, where you actually own the cards that you are selecting. So, it comes up, you're like, shit, this one's like worth a lot of money, but it's not very good in the gameplay. So you're like,
I mentioned that the game that I've been addicted to recently that just came out. I was at a gameplay tournament. It was small with my brother last week. And that exact thing happened. He was like, dude, do I take the card that's going to let me win the tournament? Or do I take the card that is like worth $400? Yeah. And I think he surprisingly took the card that was going to win in the tournament. And he went on and won. And then he got a great card for winning and whatnot.
Yep.
But that's a fun dynamic. That's true. I haven't seen anyone do that right now. How does that like work? Are you guys doing draft tournaments? Can people do that custom? What does that look like if people are wanting to play draft games with Champions?
Yeah, I mean, so we run like, daily tournaments every day, just our regular constructed. We give away $100, and then we run daily draft tournaments every day. So like, our packs are tradable. So our players just have a bunch of unopened packs. And then to enter into our daily draft tournament, you just have to submit 4 packs. And then you're in it, and we give out like $100 prize there as well. So yeah, just, anybody who's got some extra packs laying around, and you're a trading card game guy. So constructed, it kind of gets, you're running into the same stuff, but like, you
play the same meta over and over
through
again.
Skill. Yeah.
I have a question here in terms of why tackle the TCG sort of market? I totally agree with you. The idea of like, hey, having your cards tradable and you actually being able to sell them and buy them however you want on the blockchain, that makes sense. But there's a lot of other projects right now, and I feel like there's always more and more TCGs on the blockchain popping out left and right. I'm pretty sure you guys are seeing them come out as well. Do you feel like there's something from the other people that are like you would consider your competitors or people in the same space that they're not doing, that you feel like, hey, this is the reason why we exist and why we deserve a place at the table?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of difficult with these trading card games, especially when you get in the Web3. There's like a lot of NFT pressure, and like some of these other projects, I believe, are like, going too heavy into the NFT side, and they have, their cards are very expensive and all of that stuff. And in our view, and we've done this since the beginning of our project, like Magic the Gathering raised the price of their packs to $5 a piece or something like that. And, we're like, okay, they raised the price. We're going to lower them to what the price was, 5-10 years ago. So all of our packs are $3.50. That's 35 cents a card. And the main thing is like, 1 cent cards. I put a thread out about it the other day, but like that's a huge part of physical Magic the Gathering. Actually some of the cards of Magic the Gathering are valued at sub 1 cent. You can buy a whole box of cards and, if you break down the value of them, they're sub 1 penny. And that's right in, what blockchain can do and all of these things. So it's essentially, I think that's the major difference with us is we want cards to be trading for pennies and stuff. Like that's the whole point. It allows anyone to compete. And when you get to these others, and then, obviously it gets in deeper into the blockchains and stuff like that. And, the main thing is you can't have the fees of the blockchain outweigh the value of the card. So, you're not going to sell a card for 35 cents if you have to pay $2.50 in fees and stuff like that. So,
right.
Our game.
What chain are you guys on?
We're on, we launch on any chain. So we started on, we originally were launching on BTC Bitcoin. A company hit us up. I don't know if you guys are familiar with BSV, which is Bitcoin Satoshi's Vision. So it's one of the 3 forks of Bitcoin. And they hit us up and we're like, oh, we could do all these things. So we launched some cards on BSV as well. And then the Doge community hit us up and they're like, oh, we can do all these things as well. And so we have cards that you can, you just basically connect a wallet. So you can create an account right now. You can connect your Doge wallet, your BTC wallet, or your BSV wallet. All the cards appear in your deck builder, so you can use a couple cards from BTC, a couple from BSV, and all play in the same game. But yeah, like BSV has surprisingly, there's a lot of hate for it. It's got some drama and some dude named Craig Wright that everybody hates. But like at the end of the day, like, we're a trading card game and we just want, to, like I said, to do penny cards and all of these things. Speaking of
pennies, are you guys do you see, as far as like the trading side of things go, maybe the gameplay matters a little less. As far as like the trading side goes, do you see you guys moving to any of the chains that are like popping off with the Web3 gaming world? I mean, that's like what, AVAX, Ronin, Immutable, Xterio, maybe Solana, Arbitrum. I know it has a big push. Beam. Do you see yourselves launching collections on multiple chains? Do you think you're going to continue that route of like, hey, we'll pump it wherever the players are?
We've, kicked it around. We've been, contacted by some of those chains, but yeah, we're kind of like on chain maxis. Like we want the cards to actually be on chain. I'm, Bitcoin OG. I was been in the space, I don't know, almost 10 years now. So it was just Bitcoin and like it was supposed to work this way. And, your data's on chain. If the game ever goes under, you still own the card. Some of these other chains are doing off chain stuff and it kind of defeats the purpose. So we really want to focus on just like, proof of work chains like, Doge, BTC, BSV, all of these, the assets are actually on chain. And that's kind of like where we're focusing. And at the end of the day, the players that we're getting like don't care that they're not like chain maxis, they're just like card players, so they don't really care where we're putting them as long as it's working and you can trade them for pennies and stuff. So we've kind of like taken a step back and we're like, all right, all this is possible. We have this pretty innovative crafting feature and it can all be done on BSV. And we had like a bad experience with Doge. They were telling us all of this stuff was possible, but the fee, Doge breaks down as well when you start getting down to 1 and 2 cents. Like their fees start, the like minimum fees on Doge are 1 Doge, which is no big deal for most games. But for a trading card game where a card's got to be worth a penny, paying a 7-cent fee still breaks the economics.
You're paying 7 times the price. I wonder, and this isn't me shilling anyone, I was just saying, I wonder, you mentioned like being an on-chain maxi. I know we've had Pirate Nation on before and their whole everything is on chain for them. Yeah. They're on, what are they? They're a something connected to Arbitrum.
Yeah, they have their proof of play Apex chain, which is like
it's like a sub of Arbitrum. I know that's one option, and they're really cheap because they're in the same boat as you guys. Like literally every action you take in the game has to be on chain. Then I know I played one the other day. I'm blanking on the name, but it was on Beam. And I assume it had to be really cheap because everything you're doing is on chain. So that world is out there. It's just a matter of finding the right spots for it. That's cool. I want to ask specifically about, you mentioned the deck building, the drafting mechanic. Part of the reason why drafting is so fun is because you'll see this in pretty much any TCG. Hey, the new series or the new season launches. Here's 250 cards. All of a sudden, the meta in like 48 hours, the best players figure out the ideal meta, and it's going to stay that until there's new cards released. And it like freezes at that point. You go to an event or you play an online event, and it's like everyone's running the same 2 decks, and it just gets kind of boring. I'm curious how you, and I would say some of the TCGs in Web3 are specifically struggling with that, where it's like, oh, the best players just figured out what to do. And you just play the same exact thing over and over and over again. Drafting is obviously one way that you guys are dealing with that, because that's really unique to the Web3 space. Is there anything else you guys are doing as far as like maintaining like a fluid meta that's actually moving around and not just freezing?
I mean, we do all the things that are popular on Hearthstone and stuff. So we have an arena mode as well, which is not quite draft. It's, but you're building a deck, and once you get 3 losses, your deck is retired, but you're basically, it's very similar to draft. So that's another gameplay. But yeah, I mean, our new set just launched yesterday. Where like, just the same model that these other TCGs do, every 3-4 months, you're putting out a new set just to keep the meta fresh and all of that. So that's, on the constructed side, that's the way that we're going with. But yeah, we have all the other draft, arena.
What are you guys going to do? I'm curious. I mean, you reference like the way, I mean, any modern TCG is doing that. And I think a lot of them, one of the ones that I mentioned that I'm playing it like physically right now, is having just major supply issues. There's a benefit that you guys are digital. You're not going to deal with the fact that like, oh, no one can get the new cards. Do you have a system in play to keep the older cards like still in the game? I would say the complaint, I read a complaint about this the other day, that like, so I know Lorcana is dealing with this and Magic is dealing with this, that like they'll introduce a really cool mechanic on a card, and then 2 sets later they ignore that mechanic and it's gone forever. Do you guys have like in mind of like, ooh, let's keep past decks, if you're a collector, that those things can still exist in the meta? What does that look like for you?
So we're like on a most standard sets, or like the most recent 4 releases or so is how it works. All of our cards are basically, there's not a lot of text on them. It's keyword focused. So we have like 100 different abilities. These abilities aren't specific to any generation. New champions are coming out in future sets with the same type of keywords and things like that. And then the big thing that we do that's pretty cool with the old cards is and I guess you mentioned this at the beginning of that question, is like so we don't mint any, there's no supply put out there. So all of our stuff is just minted on demand. So we aren't like printing like, hey, there's only 1 million cards in circulation. Okay. All of our cards are only available. There's 2 sets on the shelves at one time. So, as people, like right when this Generation 4 came out yesterday, Generation 2 was gone. Like now people can only buy those packs from our players or buy the cards from our players. Like you can't get any more from us. So really supply drives, how many of those cards are in circulation and stuff. So it's a 6-month window where you can buy cards from our shop. And then after that, they're gone and our players can do whatever they want with them. And the big thing we implemented is like, which we think is, innovative, is the crafting feature. So we think like actually digital trading cards can, exceed things that are possible in physical. So yeah, you buy a box of Magic cards that are all worth less than a penny. Like you can't do anything with it. Like with our game, you can buy these cards that are less than a penny. You can burn them, which, it's breaking them down, and they reveal these shards inside. So you can take these extremely low value cards or ones that you have hundreds of duplicates of, burn them for you get shards. So fire shards. So, your inventory would come with, you'd have 100 fire shards in there. You can now take, shards you got from cards that were in our first release and add them to a Gen 4 pack, which just happened yesterday, and turn that into a Gen 4 Fire pack, which only has Fire champions, or a Mythic pack that's only has Mythic cards in it, and things like that. So we think like those are the kind of things. Yeah, I mean, a lot of TCGs
really
just
cool.
keep like spinning their wheels and doing the same things over, and it's like, no, like we got to leverage like these things. It's not really about what has already been done. It's about these new things that can be do add value to these, penny cards. And I think that's like I said, I put a thread out, like 1 cent cards are like a cornerstone of trading cards and the economics. So like the things that you can do with these are like what we believe is like the viral moment for like Web3, because it's not just 1 cent cards, it's 1 cent Fortnite skins and all sorts of different things that you can do, and burning them and getting these things like we're doing, where you can take an old card that maybe isn't in standard format anymore, but you can use it to craft a pack that can help you in game today. And I was like a professional Halo 2 player back in the day, so I come from the FPS, that kind of
Grew up
stuff.
playing Halo, so same boat. Wasn't a pro. I was too young with Halo 2, but I played Halo 2. I played the heck out of it. First FPS I ever got into was the first Halo, but I was probably too young to be rightfully playing that game. Who knows what my parents were thinking?
Yeah, no, I was like 15 or 16, but I was flying across the country going to MLG events stuff back in the day. But yeah, I mean, that's what's cool about the project that we're working on now, is I just see how all of this is used in every genre of gaming. I mean, trading card games are, like I said, just the simplest. We think it's the first domino to fall, and people are going to see the things that we're doing or some of these trading card games are doing, and then just do it on cooler, different genres of games.
To touch on what you just said right now, trading card games being the first domino to fall, and we've mentioned this a lot on the podcast before. We do believe that gaming is going to be that first fruit that people are going to be like, well, this is why the blockchain matters. This is why blockchain actually helps and improves things that we already love. And gaming is going to be one of those first things. But in order for that to happen, the onboarding process needs to get a lot better. How have you guys been finding the onboarding process for people who, hey, either heard you talk or hear this episode and like, dude, this guy gets trading card games. I need to try ChampionsTCG.
Yeah.
How do they get started, and how is that onboarding process for people who may hear this episode and aren't even Web3 native and they just want to try this game for what it is? What is that process like for them?
Yeah, no, I mean, we're built for that. So we're in like 12 different physical game stores. So we have a lot of cool stuff going on with like things we can do for physical game stores. And that's like the big thing. We were going around pitching these physical game stores. You can't mention the word NFT. You can't mention the word wallet. You can't mention crypto, or else it's glaze over, done, and all of that. Funding get this obscure coin to be able to buy our packs, all that's wrecked. So all of our stuff, you go to our website, there's no mention of crypto, there's no mention of BSV. You go to our shop and you buy the packs with credit card, and we're just, instead of using Amazon Web Services, we're just using this cheap blockchain that's on the back end, and there's no connection at all. So you don't need to exchange any coins to get our cards or anything. It's exactly like Hearthstone, just in the shop, put your credit card in, now you got some cards. And like, you have to take a conscious step to be like, oh, somebody said I could sell these or whatever, and then you can get into all of that. But throwing that in the face when you're just signing up, like, you're losing everyone. I think a lot of trading card games are missing on that, or just games in general. Like, you're getting a lot of drop off when there's any of that stuff involved. So yeah, all of ours is live right now. Just $3.50 credit card purchases gets you a 10 pack of cards, just like it does in Hearthstone. But then there's all these things that you can do with them after. But it's just making sure to not make that front and center or thrown in the face of, like you said, anyone listening who doesn't care about Web3. And we think those are the people that matter. I mean, the people in Web3 and that are all Web3 are like zero, pretty much. It's a 0.0%. The overall genre of gamers is still out there untapped. So that's kind of how we're addressing it.
Cool. Another note that I want to hit on, and I know you wanted to cover too, while we're speaking about areas that maybe traditional gamers and players who are not inside of crypto are having like pushback to, for whatever reason. Someone might just dunk on me for even saying for whatever reason. But for whatever reason, people are really pissed off about AI art, just like they're pissed off about NFTs. I saw you guys were, dude, who was it? Someone published a,
yeah, PC Gamer hit us up, and then they wanted to write an article. We put out this meme tweet that was like, we're paying our AI artists $15,000 a month. Like, nobody can do it better. And it just like went viral pretty much. And then, all these people started coming at us with their pitchforks about like, oh, you're wasting money. Anybody can do that, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, well, we disagree. We even put a bounty out just to anyone. We're like, if anyone can deliver art of this quality, we'll pay $1,000 right now. Sometimes we were offering 5,000. Like, nobody can do it. I mean, it's not like it's not a simple chat GPT prompt. And we interviewed tons of studios and different artists and stuff before this project even started. And it's literally like, for what we're looking for, it's a massive tool. Like, we're releasing cards every 90 days. There's tournament skins for cards, so it can't just be some prompt. All this has to flow, and the aesthetic has to look good. And we're just it's a paintbrush. It's a new age paintbrush. I mean, and there's you're not just taking the image that spits out. You're just basically giving it like the bulk work, like the tons of stuff, and then you still go in by hand and stable diffusion and edit these things, or else you're getting 10 fingers and different things like that. I mean, it's not as easy as, people just hear it, automatically think like, oh, I generated an image in Chat GPT once, I'm an AI artist. And when it's like, no, you're not.
Yeah. I mean, I think there's two big critiques I hear, right? One is that's just too easy. Like, you're getting rid of real artists by using AI. That's argument one. Argument two is all AI, and I hear this a lot, is all AI art is just stolen because it's just using a database of every artist ever, everywhere. I would say with argument two, I mean, all art is recycled. All creation is recycled. Champions is built off the back of probably 10 games that people know about and 10 that they've never heard of. Just like in 10 years, someone will make a new trading card game that is built off the backs of the guys who are building right now. Everything that is ever created is recycling someone else's cool idea. And then you make a good point.
I mean,
like, you still have an artist.
Then that is, you can train the AI. Like, this guy's been a digital artist. Like, he does 3D modeling. He's built games for, 15 plus years. Like, you can train the AI on, his entire library of work that he's done over 20 years has trained this model to do this. So it's, sure, it does take inspiration likely from things. And I'm not the AI expert to talk about it, but I do know that he's specifically trained it on his style and his different art, works and things like that. And it's like, it's at the end of the day, it's a important conversation. It's not going to just go away. Like, people need, it's going to come up at some point. It's a insane competitive advantage. I mean, if you're a Blizzard and these multi-billion-dollar companies, I mean, that are paying these artists and doing this, it's like, man, like now, small teams like us, like, we've taken zero funding from anyone. We haven't put any dollars of our own money in. Like, we've done this just off, the few card packs that we sold to start, and just, organized a real company, and like doing all this, it just, allows us a lot of flexibility, freedom, and the main thing is just speed. Like, a lot of these games, like, we feel like we're digging out of the hole of a lot of these like Web3 games. The big thing is to like promise, augmented reality packs, like, they're coming soon. And then, like, I think, we were just memeing Parallel yesterday. Like, there was a tweet from 3 years ago where they, showed some packs in augmented reality, and it's like still not shipped. And it's like, dude, that's literally why these people are attacking us about crypto's a scam and all of this stuff. It's because of like things like that. And I mean, it's just just things you got to do at this point. It's not a scam. You just got to keep doing the right things, and then eventually, like, you're going to onboard the masses. But regarding that AI thing or the AR thing, like, we, within the next 48 hours or so, we're going to be we can drop packs in augmented reality. We're going to put a bunch on like Blizzard's headquarters and shit. I mean, I don't know if we're going to get in trouble I have like a lot of crazy
You're
ideas.
sending people to Blizzard.
Yeah. I was like, what happens if we just drop like 100,000 packs all over like North Korea? Like, would we get like arrested or something? Am I going to go to jail? Like, is there
You're
rules
forcing Americans to break into North Korea to get really rare back.
Just like for news stuff. But yeah, you can do a lot of cool stuff with this kind of stuff. And
that's
we basically did the AR stuff. The tools have been out for a long time. Like I said, we did it with in 72 hours and with a bag of flaming hot Cheetos, and we got this AR stuff. Parallel hasn't shipped it in 3 years, so we're just
do you see, I mean, that's the second punch you've thrown at Parallel. Do you see you guys as like direct competitors to them?
I would say yeah, because like the overall competition would be like Hearthstone and Magic, and like Parallel is pretty much like a nothing burger compared to them. But our direct competitors like within the space are like Parallel, Gods, and we're friendly with Parallel. Like we're in their DMs. We both kind of blew up there together. Like at the end of the day, we're just Web3 card game. We're trying to do it. But yeah, there is, before our project started, I've played Parallel. We played Gods Unchained, and it's just like some of those things that I think they kind of got lost in the crypto stuff, and they've got avatars that are thousands of dollars, and like we don't think that's what's going to take all of this stuff viral. Like, real trading card players get in here and the cards that you need are even tens of dollars, like $20. Like that's not really what trading card games about. You go into your local game shop and you can bring $5 and you can buy cards for 5 cents and 15 cents. And we think that's like the big thing. So yeah, I'm not really, trying to attack Parallel, but we just, we haven't taken any funding. Like we see things like Parallel's raised 500 million or something to date. And it's like, dude, like 500 million and you haven't like got this shipped and you teased it 3 years ago. Like I'm just like anti venture funding and all of that. I think it, makes you lazy. Like, you don't got to grind to eat. Then you're going to get out competed by somebody that does. So that's really like our driving force.
Cool. Yeah, makes sense. Go ahead, Caesar.
With that idea in mind, because it's a couple of times that you mentioned sort of like the word viral or like really blowing up and really seeing like the masses come to crypto or the masses come to gaming. Is that what you would say your goal is? What is your long-term goal with ChampionsTCG? Do you hope to have millions of players playing and trading these games, or do you feel like you're trying to reach a niche in terms of the people who actually care about like the cards and the aspects and the drafting and things like that? What's the long-term vision, and where can people expect to see this in a couple of years from now?
Yeah, I mean, so basically we've built like a plug and play system, like so we don't care, like if we get out competed or whatever, like we're really here, like we play all these other trading card games. We just want trading card games to genuinely be better than how they are. So we want to see Hearthstone implement this, and we want to see Magic. Like we're not here to be the greatest trading card game that's ever been made and like, fuck everybody else or anything like that. Like we're here just to like put some pressure and show that like, hey, this is possible. And we want their player bases to be like, hey, like this team did it with, some bag of flaming hot Cheetos and zero money. Like, how can you guys not do it? And like, we just want to, get them fed up. But we built like a plug and play system pretty much where we can go to any trading card game in the world, or Hearthstone could call us and be like, hey, how do we do this? And we just say, deliver us, 300 assets that, the card assets, give us these pack assets, and then we can have all of this live like within a week with any trading card game in the world. So it's the infrastructure that we built, and we're happy to share it or work with, we'll consult and do this. We just don't, we're not really the guys. A lot of people in crypto also like shouting from the mountaintop, like, hey, you can do this with crypto, and like, oh, you could make your cards. We just want to have like a working proof of concept product that's like, look, we've been doing this. We're a year in now. All of this is working. We're not telling you something that still has to be built. It's all built and like just simple plug and play at this point. So we just, that would be the end goal, is like working with Hearthstone or Wizards of the Coast and some of these bigger games. And it's like, yeah, let's get this going. Like,
that'd be crazy.
Yeah, it is crazy, man. I've been in this space for a long time, and I just feel like there's not enough of it. Like the tech is there. It might not have been here 5-6 years ago, but there are blockchains that are working, and we're not just like one chain maxis. Like I said, anybody hits us up and they say that, oh, we can do this, like we'll talk to them and we'll even try it. We've shown that we'll put cards on BTC and we'll put cards on Doge, and we have one that's working and it's right now, and you don't have to care about the drama of the chain and all of this stuff. Like the main thing is it's just working, and there's 1 cent cards that can be used, and we just want to show that, really.
That'd be insane. The headline and the news, Hearthstone comes to Web3 because of the team behind ChampionsTCG. That'd be insane.
Yeah.
Yeah. PC Gamer, write that article. I want to ask a couple rapid fire questions from people that commented and asked us to ask questions today. The first was from Staub, who said, "Win 3D Glimmer Tards." He follows you guys.
Yeah, no. So, yeah, I mean, we're all about shipping features and things like that. So, our game's on Unity at this point. The main designer of the game is like an Unreal Engine, master. Like, so, our full plan is to get into like Epic Game Store and all of that stuff. And, we're already working on the 3D versions of the cards, and we can do Pokemon Go style stuff and all of that. So, yeah, I mean, he's telling me like 6 months or so, we do ship things like very fast. We've got to, we got to eat. So we're literally working 24/7 on this. But yeah, like, we're definitely working on that. The big downside people say on the project is like, oh, the UI isn't that good. And it's like, we're more feature driven than like trying to make like some, pretty up a pig. Like, we just want to show what's, like I said, plug and play. These features are active. Like, we know we can improve the game board and the visual effects. Magic and Hearthstone got all the eye is moving on the Hearthstone board, and Magic's got, that kind of stuff. Our game doesn't have that. It's more, it feels kind of like Windows 98 style, I would say. But like, the features are all there, and like that's the main thing we're focused on.
Cool. Next question is from Mr. Kovacs, and he asked if you guys intend on launching any kind of mini games inside the Champions universe outside of the card game itself.
Yeah, I mean, maybe not mini games, but like I just mentioned, like we have like some ideas for the Pokemon Go style stuff where these you can do a turn-based, where you're like playing one card against another card, and yeah, I mean the cool thing about it, and I don't want to get too much into the blockchain side, but we don't control these cards, so anyone can create mini games based on these cards that are in circulation and stuff like that. So we have had people from the community hit us up with some different things. Like, even if you don't like the rules of our game, you can go create the same thing that has one rule changed, and people can go play it on your side as well. So that's we definitely foresee that happening at some point.
Well said. The next, only 2 more rapid fire questions from these guys. The next was Retro, asked specifically about, like, do you guys plan on, I know you have single player, I think, but asked if you guys plan on having any more PvE aspects for people that aren't super into player versus player. So like, I would assume PvE in a TCG is more single player content, storyline type stuff.
Yeah, our current single player is like wrecked. It's really just to like test out some abilities for new players. We haven't spent a lot of time on it, but like a proper campaign mode is getting worked on, where there's different bosses and you're working through on that. So yeah, we will have things like that in the future.
Rad. The last one wasn't even a question necessarily. I just thought it was really cool. Speaker of the Dead, he must be one of your guys' 1,000 fans. They always talk about like your 1,000 core fans. He said, ask them if this much happiness is worth it. And it's a video of his kids jumping around hyped, opening up the packs on the computer. And I think that's awesome. You guys are letting families play a fun game together. That's rad. That's fantastic.
Yeah, no, I didn't see that video, but yeah, I do know Speaker of the Dead. He's definitely one of our supporters. But yeah, no, I mean, that's the whole thing, dude. Get away from the crypto and the costs a lot of money to get in. Like, there's something to be said about a $3.50 pack or whatever. You can give your kids a phone with $1 on it, and like we have cards trading for 1 and 2 cents, and your kids will go through and pick out the ones that they think look cool, and it doesn't matter about the gameplay, dude. I I didn't play Pokemon at all, man. I've got still all my cards from when I was a kid. Like, I didn't know what the hell was going on or what the
Yeah, you just bought cool
collectability was.
cards.
Just trading with your buddies, you know, like, oh, that one's cool. I've got some extras of these, and like doing all that stuff. And sometimes the blockchain gets in the way of that. Starts costing $1 for transfer fees, and they're like, okay, now you need like some money to actually do this. But all our card transfers are free. I mean, so cheap that we cover all the transactions. I mean, we're talking thousands of pennies, so it's literally no cost to the user. They don't need to put anything on. You can just send from your guys' accounts right now to each other any cards you don't want, and you don't have to worry about gas. And I mean, that's what the fun aspect of trading card games is, and should just be in general. Like Web3, man. I mean, it can't be. There's so many advantages, and it just seems like a lot of projects are just there's a lot of money in this space. So,
Right.
we've even had pressure of like, oh, put these can be high valued, and like that, it literally starts taking away the fun. And it's like all this speculation. So we're just against that. And yeah, it's all worth it, man. Like we've, been doing this for 11 months now, and it seems like a lot of people are having fun, and you don't, nothing sucks more than getting into an NFT project and then diving in price.
Yes.
But when
you feel rugged, even though they didn't really rug you, it just died. Yeah.
But you buy something for 5 cents, like you're really you don't care. Like and especially with our game, you can burn the card and get these shards and do all that stuff. It's literally like our cornerstone is like we want to be the cheapest NFTs like in the world. Like, so that's what makes NFTs.
And I don't know that I've ever heard anyone say we want to be the cheapest NFTs in the world. You guys have a really unique pitch and position, and I think that's sweet. I'm excited to see how that works. My last question, I don't know if Caesar has any more, but my last question is, hey, if someone is listening right now and they just want to play the game, I think we've covered really well how to trade, what that world looks like, but they want to play. What do they need to do to like actually play the game right now?
Yeah, I mean, you don't even need an account. Anyone can go to ChampionsTCG.com. I think you hit play now or single player or something. It just throws you into a game immediately. So you don't even need to email sign up. But yeah, like to get in the ecosystem, you just create an account with an email, and then, it takes you into our little portal or whatever where the leaderboards and the shop and everything is, and you can just play some single player. And then, yeah, I mean, because the cards are so cheap, like our community just we send cards out for free. Like if it's a new player, you join the Discord and you're like, hey, I want to, learn the game. Like you're going to get literally spammed with like hundreds of cards that people don't care about and unopened packs and like that, the fun stuff. Cool. So yeah, that's the best way. Just go to the site, join the Discord. That's where all the stuff happens.
Brad, and do you guys have, I didn't ask this, I guess I now do have another question. Do you guys have like a commander variant or anything?
We currently do not. We're actually working on like some avatars that have some effects inside the game. So that would be a completely different game mode. But yeah, it's something basically the first 4 sets are our base set. So the base set was just completed yesterday. And then now as we move forward, they're going to be more like traditional expansions like you find in Magic and Hearthstone. All of them.
Epic. Thank you, Miles. I appreciate it, man. This has been a blast. I am going to play it a little bit more. We'll probably make some content of us playing the game now that we can talk about what the heck you guys are building. This has been a blast. I appreciate it. If you want to trade, you want to play Champions trading card game, we'll have all of their links down here. Jump in there. I think you've succeeded in probably making the cheapest barrier to entry game in Web3 right now. So if you want to jump in, jump in. There's no real investment needed. Go have some fun. Thanks so much.
Yeah. Thank you.
We will see you next time.